Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a few book reviews, and stay tuned at the end because we're gonna also do giveaways. February is the month you associate with romance, and I don't think I've ever covered that topic, so let's do that. I'm going to tell you what books I finished reading, what books I'm in the midst of reading, and what books I just hope to read, and I'm giving myself permission to eject if it doesn't work out. The first book is called An American Marriage, a novel by Tayari Jones. She also wrote another book called The Silver Sparrow. This book is okay as a book, but phenomenal for generating conversation. It's about a young couple named Roy and Celestial, and their marriage is derailed. And if you look at the artwork, you'll notice that there's a tree, and that's significant. You'll find out why. And you'll notice that the tree is sort of hacked at. I thought the cover was gorgeous. So there's a lot to unpack for this book, and I'm going to do a separate video because I'm worried that I will create a lot of spoilers, and what I want you to do is just read with me, and I want to be a better writer, and the only way you're going to be a better writer is if you read a lot. So this takes place in two places, Atlanta, Georgia and Elo, Louisiana, and I'd really like to go explore the South some more because anytime I always travel home to the East Coast, but I'd like to explore the South more after reading books like this. So finish this okay book to read, phenomenal book for a book club, and that's why I'm going to do a deep dive coming up soon. The next one is Holistic Spaces, 108 Ways to Create a Mindful and Peaceful Home by Anijie. Now, I have struggled with Feng Shui. Somebody else tell me if they've struggled with Feng Shui, because I know it'll help a lot, but I don't have access to my knowledge of a Feng Shui master who can help me. So I'm actually gonna see if I can do a home improvement project using Feng Shui. Now these are the books that I'm in the midst of reading. This is An Adoptable Dog, Teaching Your Adopted Pet to Obey, Trust, and Love You, John Ross and Barbara McKinney, authors of Puppy Preschool. At Last, a training guide for your new dog of any age. Okay, so I just adopted a 5-year-old golden lab, and he is a handful, but he's incredibly handsome and lovable and has more issues than Vogue. He's afraid of men. Initially, we had mouthing issues, and I don't think we're over it. We're just better at controlling it. One of the things I learned from this book is if a dog is taken away from its litter mates too young, it never learns bite inhibition, because that's how it learns. Don't bite your brothers and sisters. It hurts and they yelp. And so I have a feeling because of COVID, there's a high demand for dogs, and I have a feeling people are doing unethical things like taking puppies way too soon from their mothers, and then they deal with all kinds of behavior problems. So I don't have the bandwidth for a puppy. I can't wake up at 3 a.m. and do potty training, so I rescued a 5-year-old. And I have a feeling he's older than 5, because sometimes I look at him and he looks really dopey, like as if he took Dayquil and NyQuil at the same time. And I'm thinking, I don't think he's 5. I think he's a lot older. I was hoping this book would be coming to my rescue, giving me more confidence as a dog owner. I'm only halfway through, but so far it seems to be very superficial for the kind of questions I need answered. When you rescue a dog, how do you know if it's been abused? We found out from the trainer that our dog is hand shy. So all she did was put her hand around his head and he backed away, and she said he's hand shy. But there's a difference between hand shy, in my opinion, and full-blown abuse, and we don't know what his story is because he's terrified of men. And because he's so handsome, everybody in the neighborhood wants to pet him. And that's hard. That's really hard. Like when you have this beautiful animal and everyone in the neighborhood has seen you on your driveway, during walks, doing training, sit and stay, lie down and stay, wait for me to cross the road, sit while I pick up your dog poop. So people think he's perfect and he's well adjusted, and the truth is he isn't. So I'm still looking for answers. So if anyone has a book for me about adult dogs that are, surrendered to the shelter and people like me adopt them, if any of you have any suggestions for me, please comment below, because I'm in search of a book that goes beyond, sit and stay, leave it down, off. That would be really helpful. So halfway through this. Next, this is Rocketman. This is my second or third attempt at Rocketman. It is by Craig Nelson, the epic story of the first men on the moon. These books tend to be really dry. Like, I read A Ball, a Dog, and a Monkey, and that was the beginning of the space race. And this is my research. I think I may have mentioned in a previous video that I'm working on my next book, and I want to write about space, specifically the characters that put people into space that we don't know about. So it took a big effort on the government, and you learn that in A Dog, a Ball, and a Monkey, to actually get the right intelligent people and the right manpower and geography to make this happen. This is the next step. So we already started the space race with the rockets. The Russians beat us to it with Sputnik. This is about the moon. But I have to say, it's really dry. It's not like a marriage story. Someone called this like the kind of book you read in an airport, and I don't think that's a criticism. It is exactly the kind of book you read on a plane, because it's a great read. Once you pick it up, you can't put it down. Now, I was devastated. I had this great idea for the book. I go to the library and realize, oh no, someone wrote it before me. I've had that feeling a few times where I'll get an idea and I'll go to the library and I'll see it in the shelf and I'll say, really? You beat me to it 6 years earlier? So this one is The Astronaut Wives Club, a true story by Lily Koppel, author of the Red Leather Diary. I don't know if you can appreciate this because I'm sitting by a window and there's a glare, but there's a pretty platinum blonde in here, and apparently that was JFK's favorite astronaut wife. I like this book so far because I've been trying to capture the kind of relationship I have with the neighbors, specifically the women in my neighborhood. It feels like we are a version of the Astronaut Wives Club, and I was trying to incorporate that into my own book about female relationships when the men aren't around, and we'll see if this works. So let's do this for our April book review. It's The Astronaut Wives Club by Lily Koppel. All right, time for our giveaway. I've said in the past that I want to support authors that I know personally, and I've listed a few. Here they are. And this is another author that I met when I was 13 years old. When I heard that she published a book, I reached out and said, I'd like to review it on my channel and really give you more publicity in a platform where I have a small following. And she was so gracious. She said, can I give you signed copies of the book? So let me tell you about the book, and I would like your support in supporting her as well, and I'll talk about it at the end. So Captured in Paint is a young adult novel. I don't tend to read young adult novels since I became an adult, and I don't know why I don't have a good reason. It's written by Ann M. Miller. I really like the cover. It's a story of a girl named Julia Parsons, and she has something of a gift and a special ability. Think about Tales from the Loop, Robin Williams' What Dreams May Come, And it's set against backdrop of grief and loss. And is it really loss? Did she really lose someone, or are they somewhere else? It takes you back to high school rivalries, boyfriends, jealousy, you know, those parties that we cringe to think about as adults, but they were everything in high school. One of the things I like about the book is it mentions the east coast of Canada. It mentions various things that it's nice for me because I grew up there, and it's nice because some of it comes back to my memory, and it feels like I've shared something with the author, even though our lives are very different. We're very far apart geographically and in other ways, but it's something that we both shared in high school, and I hope that's what inspired her to write the book. Also, one of the things I noticed about this young adult novel is I think it's hard to write a different age. Like if I were to write a book, I can only write from the point of view of me, I think. And that's why amazing authors like Tayari Jones are really amazing, because I did a lot of research on her as much as I could via YouTube and the internet, and she's not married, but she writes American Marriage so well, and I thought that's brilliant. And I think Anne has that great ability as well. She writes teenagers and how poignant and just overwhelming that stage of life is. The smallest things have catastrophic implications for people at that age, but she doesn't do it by being condescending. Like, oh, why can't she just get over it? Because when you're a teenager, that is all you know. So it is monumental, it is catastrophic. So if you're interested in young adult fiction, this is a good place to start. If you have a young adult in your life, please buy this book. It's great. It's a nice story. I do enjoy fantasy. I do enjoy sci-fi. I think it takes a lot of imagination to write it, and Anne did a good job. So I will leave a link below for Anne's author Facebook page, and you can contact her and she will give you a signed copy of the book. So if you want romance, this is a nice place to start. An American Marriage and Captured in Paint. And if you want to stay with me on my journey with space, we will be reading the Astronaut Wives Club and Rocketman. And if you want to help me with acclimating our dog into our family, take a look at Adoptable Dog and give me some suggestions for books that will help me go a little further than just obedience, because he's a sweet guy. I just need that final, like, you're home, we're here to love you, please calm down. So when this pandemic is over, we can go back to having parties and Thanksgiving, and he won't have to be a nervous wreck. And finally, if you need help in certain areas of your life, like you want more wealth, more fame, more harmony, children are acting up, and you want it to stop, more connection to your partner, give Feng Shui a try. I will, and I'll let you know how it goes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.